What's good, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and as y'all can tell from the title of today's video, we are going to be discussing Christian dating. Now, this video suggestion was from Taviso. Do go and follow him on IG. I'll put his handle over here. And he actually suggested this video a very long time ago, but I just never got around to filming it. And so after the whole Valentine's Day things last week, I was thinking, hey, why not do it? I mean, we are still in the month of love, so we can get into it. To first define dating. So, dating, according to me and Google, it's basically spending time with someone to try and get to know them better, and then so that you could decide whether they are the perfect match for you or for your plans for life. Like, if y'all could even start being in a relationship, not even thinking about marriage yet, but dating is the process of assessing someone through going out, talking, spending time with each other to just see if you can actually be in a relationship with this person and hopefully make it long term and go into marriage. Cool. But now in today's society, unfortunately, dating is no longer what it's supposed to be, but rather it has become the relationship. If two people say they're dating, they're apparently already in a relationship, which is wrong. In fact, if I use the USA terms, what should be dating is now known as the talking stage. So people will be like, we are still in the talking stage, we are not dating, but that is already dating, because being in the talking stage means that you're getting to know the person and then you're trying to decide whether you want to be with this person. So talking stage is supposed to be dating, but y'all have changed all of that. So now, if y'all are from a black family like mine, dating is actually frowned upon. So we grew up and we were told never to have boyfriends. You can't have boyfriends, you can't have girlfriends. Those are devil things. But like, I've been sitting here and I'm just thinking, like, how can we not have boyfriends and girlfriends? Are we going to jump from just straight from being kids to being engaged, or straight from being kids to being married? Like, where's the transition spot? Because I felt that you don't just jump into marriage with someone that you don't know. You need to get to know them. And for this, I wanted us to read 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14. Get my Bible quickly. So 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14 says that, do not be yoked together with unbelievers, for what do unrighteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with the darkness? So unfortunately, most of us only think of the scripture as referring to Christians dating Christians, Christians marrying Christians, but as we all know, the Bible is not meant just for our spiritual growth, but it's also there to help us with our lives. So when they are talking about being equally yoked with a partner, I believe it also goes hand in hand with relationships. Like, if you are going to be in a relationship with someone, you want to make sure that your morals and values are aligned. You want to make sure that your principles and your life goals are in sync with one another. Otherwise, y'all are going to be into this relationship, you're going to invest a lot of time in it, and then you find out you're not compatible because you didn't look into it. You didn't look into how deep you guys were aligned for one another. So when they speak about being equally yoked, this is where I feel that dating is very important for everybody, whether you're a Christian, non-Christian, black or white. Also, I'm not saying that if y'all are into what do they call them, arranged marriages, that you shouldn't do that. I'm all for that. Y'all, if you feel you're okay with arranged marriages, then go for it. Have your parents choose your partner and then spend the rest of your life with them. But I would advise you that once your family has chosen someone for you, spend time with them before actually getting married, because you don't want to get married and then find out that y'all don't align, or that one partner doesn't want children and you want to be a mom or a father, and it's just not going to work out. Like, some things need to be discussed before actually getting into a long-term committed relationship like marriage. So, and you know, us as Christian, we need to date for marriage. We don't date for fun.
Please people,
we date for marriage, not for fun. So the goal is always for marriage, so you need to think out of the box from the get-go. You don't want to be wasting your time with someone for 3 years, 4 years, and it's not gonna go anywhere. What you doing? Like, no. So being equally yoked, I feel, is God telling us that we need to know who we're getting into bed with. So now, going into answering the question that Tabiso posed, which was how do we go about dating in a Christian manner? Okay, so I have one scripture. I had to actually search the Bible to find a scripture that kind of closes everything into one package.
I did find it, so I'm very proud of myself, you know.
But anyway, so we will read First Timothy chapter 4 verse 12. First, your pencil, you left it there on the table. Yes, baby. Okay, so it reads, so First Timothy chapter 4 verse 12 says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity." So this is actually advice to us, because they say don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. So it's for us, not the grown-ups. But the grown-ups can also use us, but it is for us, the young people who are trying to make it in life, trying to figure out life still, and we are supposed to be an example. So as children of God, we need to be an example in our speech, our conduct, in faith, in love, and purity. So I'm gonna go more into detail and explain how those apply into the dating scene when you are dating or about to start dating. Cool. So regarding speech, what I concluded from speech, when you're supposed to be an example in terms of your speech, what I understand is honesty and what was it? Mindfulness. So honesty is self-explanatory. That means that you need to be honest with your partner from the get-go. Like, be honest about whom you are, be honest about your intentions, be honest if you feel some type of way, be honest if you're unhappy, be honest about your faith. That's one of the most important things. Y'all can't be denying your faith when you're in a relationship. They need to know whom you believe in. So like, just be honest with your partner. And then the second part, being mindful, comes into play because you need to watch your words at the same time. Like we said, be honest, but you need to watch your words, because you'll be surprised how honesty can destroy a person in one way or the other. So we need to be careful of how we use our words, because they are very powerful. So in your honesty, be mindful about the words that you are using, how you are using them, and how they could affect the other person. So your partner, you want honesty to be the foundation, but also be mindful. So I guess timing is also comes into play when it comes to being mindful, though I don't like emphasizing timing, because others will use it as an excuse not to say what needed to be said in the beginning already, and then they just prolong it because they think they're not getting the right time. Some things just don't have the right time to be said. You just need to say them. So I don't like using timing for that, but time can play a factor. So be mindful about how you speak to your partner, or how your words affect your partner, but at the same time, always be honest. Number 2 is our conduct. We need to be example in terms of our conduct, and the way that I understood this is it has got to do with our actions and appearance. we all know actions have consequences. So whatever you do, you need to know that it's going to affect the other person. It can affect your partner, it can affect people around you, it can affect the entire relationship. So being mindful about how your actions affect people, specifically in this context of dating, how it's going to affect the person you're trying to build a relationship with, is a good idea. So always make sure that your conduct is in line or in control. And then the other part of appearance, there are some reservations that I have in terms of appearance. So so the way that you dress, your dress code, also plays a factor in how it's going to affect people and how people will perceive you. So you need to be mindful of that. Like, I feel like the basis of conduct is let what people see be what you are, right? For example, like if you say you are this type of person, let your actions say that you are this type of person. Don't let there be any misconceptions, confusing misunderstandings. Like, you say one thing, but this is what you do. It's not aligning. Like, we as children of God, since honesty is supposed to be one of our mottos. One of our mottos. So we should also, in the same way that our words are supposed to be honest, our actions should also align with the things that we say, with the things that, like, colors should be in sync, including our dress code. Though I do have reservations, like I said. It's all about perception at the end of the day. I'm not gonna go more into detail with that. Number 3 is being examples when it comes to love. Being example when it comes to love. We all know we are children of God. God is love, and he gives his love freely to everybody. So if he is love, we are his children, and we already have love, then we should be able to freely give love to others. Now, before y'all start thinking too far, the love I'm talking about here is compassion. So you all need to be compassionate to one another. Be kind when you need to be. Help the other person when they need help. Like, go the extra mile. Tolerate if you need to do that. So just be a nice person. Be a good person. My sister doesn't like the term nice, but anyway, be a good person to the people around you. Always show compassion. And when you are showing true compassion, you don't really expect it back, because a lot of people be like, why should I do that for them if they don't do the same thing for me? But that's not compassion. That's you being like everybody else, and we're supposed to be different because we are children of God. So if you are showing compassion, you do it out of your heart. Do it because you want to. If you don't want to, rather don't do it, so that you don't become a hypocrite. So when you want to show compassion, show it freely, show it with an open heart. That way you won't expect anything in return, and it won't affect you how the other person reacts, or whether they react with grace or gratefulness or not. It won't really affect you because you wanted to do it and you did it from the bottom of your heart. Your part is done and you're good. So in love means that being compassionate, especially to our partners in the context of dating. So be compassionate to your partner, like show kindness to them, give an attentive ear. Like, listening is also being compassionate, because some people think that you need to listen to me, I have something to say, but it has to go the other way around as well. You need to listen to the other person, hear them out, and also know that sometimes in relationship, one person is going to need more grace when they're going through a tough time than the other. Like, it happens vice versa. So you need to be able to recognize that, okay, my partner is going through something, let me show grace, let me show some compassion, and go the extra mile, even though they are not doing the same thing because they're down. So that is also being good examples in terms Number 4 is being examples when it comes to faith. Now, as we all know, Christianity is all about faith, and the way that I translated this was being positive and having a positive outlook on life. Like, always be positive, knowing that God is on our side, so everything is gonna work out for the best despite what is happening. Now, I also have reservations with this. Saying being positive doesn't mean being naive. If there are some red flags in your relationship, you need to recognize that, okay, I need to get myself out of this situation, no matter how difficult or hard you might find that situation to be, or to get out of, like you don't want to get out of. But if you need to get out of a bad situation, rather get out of that bad situation. That is also you choosing to be positive. Like, it's hard for me to leave, but I'm gonna leave anyway because I trust the process. I'm trusting God to fix this, because if this is meant to be, it will be, and if this is not meant for me, then I will survive. So having a positive outlook, that was my take when it comes to faith. Why I said having a positive outlook, because they say that somewhere in the scriptures, I didn't look for the scripture but I know it, they say that faith is the substance of things not seen, evidence of things hoped for, or the other way around. But anyway, so basically it's a hope of things that you haven't seen, being positive about things that are not really there yet, basically committing to a plan. Like, you are committed to being in a relationship with someone, then be committed to this relationship. Do not let one obstacle be a problem. Being committed to being happy, so that if you're in a relationship that is just not working out, knowing that it is time for me to move on. So all of that is being positive in a way. So instead of focusing on the negatives, you just focus on the positives. That is being example in terms of faith. And last but definitely not least, we need to be example in terms of purity. And now, this one is where the sensitive conversation starts. This is to do with the sexual immorality. And in today's world, well, everything happens when you're dating, apparently, and that is not the case when it comes to dating in a Christian manner. You're not supposed to sleep with the other person. You're not supposed to engage in certain activities of a sexual manner when it comes to that. We need to always remain pure, unless you're married, then whatever you do is pure. But yeah, we need to be pure. And now I know that in today's world, some people be like, if I'm gonna commit to this person, I need to know what I'm getting into. So I need to test drive everything. And yeah, whatever the reason may be, I believe it is stupid. No offense, but I believe it is stupid, because if you think about it, it really ain't that deep. Just having some self-control and self-discipline doesn't mean that you're gonna get the wrong end of the deal, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I did jot down, I think, 3 reasons why purity is actually a good thing when it comes to relationships before marriage. So the first reason was that whether y'all want to believe it or not, our emotions actually have a great impact on how we think and what we do. So when you have sexual relations with someone, you are going to, you're basically, your mind will be clouded. You won't be thinking straight. You're going to be making decisions that are biased in a way, because you've had sexual relations with this person. And if you are one of the few people who have mastered not being affected by sexual relations, like you can still think straight afterwards, then reason number two comes into play, that you could mislead the other person or your partner. Like, their judgment could be clouded. They could think, or get certain, what do they call them, indirect promises, indirect promises from you, just because you all had sexual relations, and even though it was not uttered, now they expect something from you. So it is misleading in a way, so rather don't get involved. And reason number 3 is spiritual ties. Yes, a lot of people don't believe in spiritual ties, but when you have sexual relations with someone, you guys are connected, and the problem will not be visible when you guys are still in the relationship, obviously. But the moment you all break up, that is when the problem starts, because you have a connection with this person, and they'll always have a part in your life. Doesn't matter what you do, because you all had a sexual interaction, and that is what is known as spiritual ties. And that can weigh you down when you get into a new relationship, or when you're trying to move on with your life, but it's just not working out because you are tied to this human being that you're trying to. So yeah, so those are the 5 points that I think is important when it comes to leading or dating in a Christian manner. Now, in case y'all are wondering why you should listen to me, even though I myself am a single mother and gave birth to a baby out of wedlock, well, the thing is, there were a few things that I wish I knew before getting into relationships or while I was in relationships that I got to learn later on. And yes, I went through some horrible experiences, but I've learned from them, and I've come to learn a lot of things after my relationship regarding what you need to know before relationships, what you should do while in a relationships. And I wish that if I had known these things prior to being in the relationships, things could have ended on a better note. Though I have no regrets because I am here today, right? I am a mother and I love being a mom. And also I get to share this experience with you guys and let you know what you guys can do better than I did so that you can avoid the same mistakes or avoid being in the same places that I was in, especially heartbreak, guys. Heartbreak is not a nice thing. So if y'all can avoid it at all costs. So if you want to listen to me, that is up to you. Otherwise, I think we are done with this video. I will be maybe not now, but I think I'm gonna do a video on the things you need to know before even starting to date or before being in a relationship that you need to be mindful of, like the homeworks you need to do. I might do a video on that, so let me know in the comment section if y'all want that. And also, if y'all guys have any questions regarding dating, do feel free to ask away either here or on Instagram, and I'll get back to you. Until the next video, bye guys.
Bye.